I want to start this video off with a little story. My downloads. Here we go. Let's put this here. Okay. Let me make this a little smaller. This is Steve Jobs. So I want to tell a story about in the 80s, we have Steve Jobs and he's working on the Macintosh OS. And he wants this calculator, right? And he's just being obsessive about how it looks. And this guy, Chris Espinoza here, creates this prototype for the calculator. And Steve Jobs just hates it. He just wasn't satisfied over and over, day after day. New criticisms. So what Espinoza did to solve this problem is he created what is now famously known as the Steve Jobs Roll Your Own Calculator Construction Set. And so I made this little image here of Steve building this out. And what it allowed for was Steve, the visionary, who couldn't code really, the ability to sit down and Chris gave him the tool set to allow Steve to realize exactly what was in his head, but he didn't have the capability with the tools of the day to get that out into a tangible, item. And so Chris built this tool for him. And so to me, this is what Lovable is. Lovable is this tool that allows me to get the things in my brain that I don't have the capabilities to hand code, whether it's, the capabilities, the lack of patience, just having to do a lot of different things when you're running a business. This allows the code to be written automatically, and it is unlike anything that I have experienced before. So you might have noticed that I am using this tool, Capture Suite, which is essentially a Loom competitor. I have almost 2,000 Looms in my account, but I have found it to be very difficult to do the things that I want to do AI wise. Loom essentially forces you to use their, let me just go ahead and go to the website that I made. And the whole reason I'm talking about Lovable is that I made this website in one day using Lovable, nothing but Lovable. I mean, Lovable and Vercel and Supabase, but they're all so deeply integrated that it's just seamless. Now, where was I going with this? Hold on, let me pause this and think. Okay, so getting back to the original point, Lovable is that tool that I feel like gives me the ability to, like, Lovable is Chris Espinoza to me. There's so many things that I want to do. There's ideas that I've got, Comms HQ, Fin Journals, redesigning my Poseidon imaging site, trade beacons, Vellum Bound, which is like going to be a Goodreads competitor. There's just so many things that I want to do. And not all of them are even things that I want to build and put out there. If they're successful and other people like them, that'd be awesome. But some of these things I just want for myself. And I think this is the first time that I can see paying a single subscription. So like if I pay Lovable, $25 to $50 a month, Vercel, $25 a month, and Supabase, $25 a month. I'm under $100 a month. And that allows me to, Lovable is the creation of the tool. Vercel is the hosting of the tool, and Supabase is the database. And so those three things together allow me to build any number of tools that I want, and I can build them to all interact with each other. So let me first show you what Capture Suite does. Not only does it allow you to annotate with, like I saw, I uploaded a photo, overlaid it, I highlighted stuff, I can draw. But what really I think is important is that once you have this data, there's so much rich information, metadata in that video where I'm talking, I am clicking on things, I am pointing to things. And so what you can see here is that on every click, it is actually capturing a screenshot and the XPath exactly where you click on the page, along with the URL of where you're at. So you can take the transcript and the navigation logs and the screenshots and have an AI create a how-to guide. You can create down here. One of the ideas is browser scripting. So if you do the same task over and over on a web page, you could essentially just record it and then like have it written in whatever browser automation tool that you want, and then you can automate that. It's local first, so all of this is local on your machine, and then you can make it. You can upload it to any tool that you want. We've got an API that we're working on right now, so you can build your own module. So if you want to send it to Zapier or Dropbox or AWS or your own system, you can do that. And create workflows with any AI that you want, not the AI that Loom decides for you. This clean interface thing is a huge thing for me. Like usually I don't have, I'm not in the videos, but like getting the Chrome, what they call a Chrome, the interface out of the way so I can actually build is super, super useful. I hate this per user pricing. $20 a month per user. You've got 5, 10, 15 people with Loom, but like maybe not everybody's using it to, it's full. Maybe one person like me is like a super user and everybody else is kind of like maybe using it a couple of times a month. It just doesn't make sense. So I'd rather see, so the default module to Productivity Suite is going to have a standard per month price per account. And then you'll just have a certain amount of videos, a cap of videos based on what term you're on or what pricing you're on. So anyway, this is what this is. But this whole site, I've got this waitlist thing. Eventually we're going to have the add to Chrome button. But I was like, okay, well, I don't have this yet, but people might click on it. So what do I do if people click on it? Well, boom, look at that. The entrepreneur that can't code made this fun. And it like says, hey, so even if I'm down here, it scrolls up and says, hey, join the beta. So like I can think, people might do this. Let's fix that. And I did that in a couple of prompts. But then also I was like, as I was building this out and it was creating all this stuff, it was adding all of these little, like I gave it so much copious information about what I needed and what the tool did and everything like that, that it created this page and all the text. But I was like, okay, well, how do I fine tune this? How do I, they've got this visual edit thing, which I'll show you here. So I can do this like, I can do this visual edit. Spin, spin, spin. Let's go. So I can do this visual edit thing, but this doesn't allow me to like change the text, which I think is kind of lacking. But I'm not gonna complain too much. So what I did instead was I rolled my own like CMS. I basically had Lovable build me take all of the things that had text and images and in Supabase, which is here. I want to do media. Take all of this information and basically make it into a nice interface for me. So now I can edit this. And what's super nifty is look at this. It's like live. And then this little rollback or save. So if I click save here, it will save to the live site. And I guess I can just do that to show you. So now it's on the live site. I'm going to get rid of it. And this little thing pops up so I can clear the screen. But these this was a specific thing that I wanted. Usually it would just have it had these big clunky buttons, but I was like, I hate those. And it just takes up so much real estate. So what I actually want is something where, if there's a change, make a little icon and hide it. So like I know a visual cue that I need to save something or not. And then I've got all the features here. See, these are all the features down here. And so what I've done is I've linked like Smart Scribe, like feature 1 is Smart Scribe. Okay. So problem, solution. but the title of the solution at the same time is this thing. So if I change this, it's going to change it here and here. So the problem, the before and after are linked to the actual feature description. And then I can just give more information here. And then I decided, okay, well, I want to be able to change the colors here. And so here are the different colors of the sections. And then if there's more than one image, it will actually, let's add this. If there's more than one image, it will create a, let's see here. So now these are, so I've got my own CMS for this custom site that I spun up in a day by myself, no help, no ability to code, just talking to the AI. Let's clean this up. Then I've got my functionality. So let me actually go into Lovable and show you kind of like why this is good and what it's lacking. So a tool like Bubble, for example, there is a barrier to entry, and there is it's still a development process. Cursor is a development process. This allows me to just go into the chat, and let's just scroll to the top and see what I asked for it. I've done 250. I've had to upgrade. I chose the $100 a month thing because I was burning through credits because I was just getting exactly what I wanted. But this allows you to just say hey, this is what this thing is. Oh my God. So this is what I did in a day. You can see how much I actually talked to it. What's great about this is I own this code. So I linked my GitHub, and this code is now private in my GitHub account. So here's what I said. This is how I started, and then I got something. And then I said, okay, well, let's change it a bit. And I just kept talking to it and gave it specific things that I wanted to make changes to. If I needed to change the Supabase, the table, it did that. I got to focus directly on these things. I spent so much time on this design here, which I'm not it's not the best ever, but I think it's good enough for launching something. That's what's important. So you can see all of these, and here's the huge kicker. If something, so in Cursor, if something flubs up, you have you just get comfortable saying apply changes. It can break just everything, and you can't do anything about it. And you don't know what it changed. And I don't know if they've got a rollback feature now, but when something breaks and it just mucks up everything, I could just go back and I can say restore this version. And that is so unbelievable. And so I might go down a path and be so I was going down a path where with this Chrome extension thing, you can see there's this little red. It was pink like this, and when I made it grayed out, it still had this little aura, and I was like, okay, what if I just kind of make it pulsate a little bit, just so people want to click this, just so they can see my fun animation. So I'm kind of inviting them to do that, and then I was asking it to do that, and it just was pulsating, really aggressively pulsating, boom, 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 boom. And I probably went over 10 or 15 chats trying to get it to do what I wanted, and it just refused to do it. It just wasn't working, or it would get 90% of the way there and not. And then I just decided to scrap it, and I just went, okay, well, let's just go back to where it was and restore that, and then I'll start from there. So it's almost like going down, it's like walking down a hiking trail, seeing a fork in the road, going down, and then being you know what? Based on what I'm seeing, I can see that this is now the wrong path. Let me back up to where I was at the fork, and let me go the other way. And so that's what's super, super clutch. This is also the first one, when I built this thing in Cursor earlier, the chat thing that took me a little bit, I just felt so much more blind about what was going on. And this one for certain feels like I have full control, because I can go to specific pages. I can tell it to do this or that in specific pages. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like I have so much more control, which is truly, truly amazing. So anyway, I'm going to start building just all this stuff in my brain and just, putting it out there. So anyway, I invite you to try Lovable. it has this functionality where I think I haven't tried this yet, but where you can upload a Figma file. So if you've got a Figma file from a designer or something, you can just try it. But this allows you to just get something up and running really, really quickly. One of the things that I want to do with Capture Suite is this API. And I was like, okay, well, I talked about, sending it to Dropbox or AWS or your private tool or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I need a place to manage this like marketplace or this app store or this module store, whatever I end up calling it. And I'm going to do that with Lovable. I'm going to basically allow people to um, I'm going to allow people to upload. Sorry, what am I saying? Um, I'm going to allow people to either upload a module, and I'll have an AI verify it, and I'll use Lovable to do that. I'll use Lovable to connect to an AI that makes sure that people are not doing any weird stuff, and then it'll like automatically upload and be approved. And then, um, and then I was even thinking through. I could have a page on the API page. I could have a little thing where it maybe puts links to like the user can add links or documentation to whatever their API is, and then it writes the API, um, or it writes the module, and then you can run some tests, and that allows someone like me who doesn't know how to code to actually like build this thing, and take this Capture Suite, this free tool that is a free recording tool, and then not send it to capturesuite.com, not send it to productivitysuite.com that I own, but rather it is local on their machine and they can send it to anywhere they want. So I want this to be like a free tool for founders to like really get super, just get all of this rich data that's in these videos. If I send these videos to people, like here's something that happens to me all the time. I send these videos to people and a lot of times they don't watch them. And then they ask me a question. And I'm like, it's in this video. You just didn't watch the video. But then if like it's in my team and I can see who's watched the video and who hasn't, I can know where the knowledge gaps are of like who hasn't watched the video. So if they like ask me in Discord or Slack, what's going on, that could link up to this information and say like, oh, you didn't watch this video, start here. Here's the link. And then I don't have to answer that question because like the AI comes in and does that. So I just see so much ability. I think this screen recording stuff is still in its infancy. But anyway, I wanted to share that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long, but I feel really, really strong about how this has developed.